My name is Rex45 with the B4evaKool podcast.
My name is TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee.
What's going on, man? How are things?
And just can't complain. We got another week of racing upon us. A couple more weeks left, but I'm just happy that I get to watch some racing.
No doubt. And when you say a couple more weeks of racing, I assume you're talking about MotoGP.
Yeah, MotoGP and World Superbike's done, but MotoGP is still rolling.
Yeah. Speaking of World Superbike, man, they had the testing after. Obviously, I don't think we spoke since Alvaro Batista won his second world title, right?
No, but a lot has
Happened.
happened since the season ended. I mean, before the test. I know we was talking about all the changes.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of people going to the new teams. Um, so a lot of those guys also tested. Top Rack is going to BMW.
Right. Yep.
We got Jonathan Ray going to Yamaha.
Yep.
We got what Ioni was testing out there as well, and we got Rinaldi staying with the same manufacturer, but new team.
Correct,
So
correct. That's the part that's not crazy. I think the craziest thing is Inoni coming back after being out of professional racing for 4 years, right, for testing positive for banned substance, and he was, one of the guys that was, top of the charts on day two, time charts on day two, which is pretty impressive. I mean, for being, and I think he's in his 30s now too. So he's not to say he's over the hill or long in the tooth or anything like that, but definitely he's not one of the young guys coming in. And he topped the time. He was one of the top three.
oh yeah, I'm sure he has been training up until this point,
Right.
uh, or at least staging for a comeback due to his banned substance uh,
Banned.
situation. Being banned, So, but for someone being out and then stepping into the plate and producing like that is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Just jumping on that type of bike and just going out there and putting it down laps.
Right. And Nicola Bugala did the same thing. I know I'm jacking up his last name. Forgive me for that. He also another guy on the factory Ducati that was up there in the time charts, and he won the World Super Sport title, and so now he got the factory seat. And even another guy that's up there and running in the test, which was pretty impressive.
Well, my thing is when the test comes, right? Um, are they looking for who's the fastest guy out there, or are they testing, to see how you fit on the bike? I know they're all testing that, but it always seems like, they say this guy was the fastest in the test, and everyone appreciates that
Right.
more than someone improving on a new machinery.
Right. I think and I haven't been in the World Superbike camp or anything like that. But I assume like Nicola and Inone and I forget who the third. I might have been Remy Gardner. I think the newer riders coming in, they're just trying to go fast. I think the seasoned guys are working out setups and working out a lot of other stuff and suspension and all other things and unnecessary work, because I think they might they realize that being the top of the time charts in a test is not the most important thing. It's making sure they are comfortable on the bike, they got a good feel for the bike, and the bike is doing what they want it to do.
Yeah, don't they want to like see improvement? Like say if they want to add a different chain of sprocket or a winglet or something, if they go out there to see if they can change times, opposed to just seeing if they're fastest out of everyone.
Correct, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. You know what I'm saying? It is that. So I like not seeing Top Rock up there, or Ray, or Batista, or one of these guys. It's I'm not worried about that.
Yeah,
I will say it's nice to see Axel Bassani on a factory team. I know he was probably gunning for the factory Ducati seat, but he got the Cowie seat, so I'm happy to see him there. It'll be interesting to see how Top Rock does on the BMW next season.
Oh yeah, from him jumping off of the Yamaha, we know how Yamaha's doing, especially MotoGP. For him to jump on BMW, I can't wait.
Right.
I know watching the BMW in Moto America was really fun. They were, winning a lot of races, just different series, but to see a skilled rider as Top Rack, see what he can do on a manufacturer we're not used to seeing. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and with Gerloff and some of these other guys, they were starting to crack the top, 7, right? Probably it's safe to say it's top 10, right? But they, end of the season, those guys were starting to, get their sea legs underneath them on the BMW. Yes, Top Rock, has a title, and he's a skilled rider. But I would have said Scott Redden being a MotoGP guy, finishing really high on the Ducati, even though he didn't win a championship, he did give a fight in there, I think the skill sets. What I'm trying to say is the skill sets I think is pretty even. So I don't know if he's going to bring a lot more to BMW than Gerloff or Redden or one of these other riders that's already there, especially being a new rider and being on the Yamaha.
Well, it does help the BMW team, or I like Garrett Gerloff. I was rooting for him for the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But to have him come on, and just get data from him, and I mean, as far as a BMW team, I think they'll be really, really someone to mess with.
Yeah, I think so too, because Gerloff he came from Yamaha, so I think for Top Rock probably he's the person to lean on the most, because he came off of the Yamaha I think for a couple of years, maybe 3 years, maybe 2 or 3 years that Gerloff was with Yamaha. So I do think that, but I don't, again we'll see, right? The BMW is yet to be a champion bike, so it'll we shall see, because I'm not trying to take anything away from Top Rock's skill, because he's definitely a skilled rider, but so is Redden, right? I mean, so is so these are, I'm not gonna, what I'm saying, like Redden was in MotoGP from age 16, what I'm saying, like or 15 or 16 or whatever. He was young in MotoGP, so like I don't want to take like I don't. It's unfortunate that I don't see Redden doing well. Hasn't done well on the BMW yet. And even though he lost the factory seat and now he's on, I forget the name of the team he's on, but he's on the same team as Gerloff. I still think Redden is a skilled guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's I'm not knocking Top Rock, but like we just got to wait and see.
Oh yeah. Do you think Alvaro Bautista, like what type of changes they may do during this test? Because he's the winner. I mean, he has improved the past 2 years being number one, but
right.
I don't know.
The thing is this: they added they made some changes, more changes than I know about, but they add 7 kilo to weight for him because there's now a minimum weight that every rider has to be in. So they had to add weight to his bike for him to make that minimum weight. Right, so
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I believe it's 7 kilos, and it's gonna take some getting used to. I can only the only way I can really tell. I don't know what my like. So when I ride my Multistrada, I got a top. I got a top case on the back, and I got a backpack not full of, but I got a laptop and stuff in it. Right, and I notice the difference when I ride that bike on the street, when I take corners and stuff like that, when my backpack is in the top case. Versus when it's not. You probably notice a difference when you have a full tank of gas on your bike, or most people do on their bike, versus when they get like low, or you notice if you're pushing your bike, right? You know what I'm saying? Yes. You'll get a feel. So that's something he's gonna have to get used to. He could get fatigued by the process. He may have to bulk up, which could make him a little bit more less flexible because of it. He's also an older rider as well. So that I remember when MotoGP guys started having the shoulder cam, and they talked about the weight with just having the camera on their shoulder, and just the difference that made. and that camera, I gotta assume is a lot lighter than the weight they're putting on Alvarez's bike.
Well, you think they're just trying to slow him down? Because I know Danny Pedrosa is like, man, if y'all added some weight to my bike, I'm telling you. Because I don't.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's just I don't know the rules that they come out with every year. You know, for him winning 2 years in a row, you see the Ducati improving. Um, I don't know why his weight has to come into play
Well,
when he's winning.
it comes into play because of his weight. He's always going to have more tire at the end of the of the race. But here's the
I guess,
downside of
yeah.
being that light. If it's cold out, he doesn't have enough weight to keep heating the tire. Like, and that was the biggest thing with Danny Pedrosa on colder race days. He wasn't heavy enough to keep enough weight, keep enough heat in the tires on that type of thing. So it's one thing when it's hot
Yeah.
out and he's gonna get the grip he need because he got that heat out there. But when it's chilly out, or colder temperatures, I should say, it's harder for him to generate heat in the tires. So there's pros and cons to that, and and I don't know, I'm not, and I know, on one hand, I was just bigging up Scott Redden. On the other, now I'm going to sit here and say, to my knowledge, he's one of the riders that complained about Alvaro being so light, and and now we have a weight thing, right? So
Yeah.
and when he won the first title, I believe, or and so you know, in our racing world, in like the super sport class, there is a weight class on certain bikes, so they're already in place. Bike and rider has to be certain weights and stuff like that, that type of thing, and so for Alvaro, it's tricky. Although I think muscling a bigger, a heavier bike around, he's just gonna have to act like it's a. I'm not even gonna say, it, but I think he'll figure it out. I don't think.
Oh, he'll figure it out for sure. I mean, I think it would make him a little bit faster, to be honest.
Well, he doesn't need to be though, right? Because he can
No,
hit.
he doesn't.
Because you saw what he done this year, right? He hung around until halfway through the race, and then
Yeah, he didn't have to. He didn't
and,
have to lead the race at all.
yeah, and then he just picked his way through when everybody else was eating their tires up. He didn't have to worry about that. But he also had to build heat in his tires as well. So it's not like he was sitting here, thinking about what he's gonna have for lunch. But I saw for him the racing was easier because you saw how Top Rock, even though he won that last race, you saw what he had to do to win the last race. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that. I mean, they had like.
Go ahead.
I was say they had what 25 overtakes,
It was something
something like
ridiculous,
that.
and Top Rock was beyond the limit.
Oh yeah.
He rode beyond the limit, and you can't do that.
I thought they both were. I thought they were both
No.
like.
I
You don't think so?
no. There's a side
You
of me
think
that
Bautista was just like, all right, I got you. Just keep doing what you got to
yeah,
do, Top Rock.
I think there's a side that he let him just get it. I think there's a side that just was just like I got the title, and he was the only dude that even gave him a fighting chance, right? Honestly, right? He was the only dude that was just like, no one else wants to step up. I'm gonna step up every weekend, and he did that every weekend. I mean,
He sure did.
He did it every weekend, and it tore him up when he did that, and the tire blew out. Because it was that same kind of race that he had that last round. It was just kind of like, he was giving it everything he had, and I don't think Batista was doing the same thing. He wasn't giving it everything. He was being as competitive, but he wasn't riding over his. He might have rode over his limit here and there, but he wasn't right over like Top Rack rode over his limit the entire race.
Well, I mean, I guess he did because the last lap he had a little Brad Binder incident with a track limit warning.
Yeah.
So pushing back, but that was a. I couldn't imagine being a type of race like that.
Right.
Fighting against a friend, overtaking 25 times, or in that nature. I mean, a couple of times here and there, but like they were doing it in every other corner. It was impressive.
It was, and so I mean, Redden was just as impressive. What on the first year he was on the Ducati. I don't know what happened the second year, and he was riding the heck out of that bike as well. Not to not to the I don't want to say not to the level, but Top Rock had to ride the Yamaha that way. It is what it is. He wasn't on the Ducati, so he had to ride the bike that way. Now, and I say all to say it's interesting because Alvaro is the only guy on a Ducati and World Superbike, right? That I don't know who finished third place, but I think it was Jonathan Ray that finished third place, right?
Jonathan Ray,
yeah. So where you look at MotoGP, you got the first three guys in the championship of Ducatis. So it does make you wonder how come Bassani, Rinaldi, all these other Ducati riders. The only person, he's the only one that's been moving forward. He's the only one of the only ones. I shouldn't say he's the only one because Bassani and Rinaldi have been there, but they've been there for their contract they've been there for a few years now. But they didn't have the same. You see like Martin and Pecco is battling it, and Bezecchi's trying to pull up the third. You don't, there's still a Yamaha and a Kawasaki before there's another Ducati. So it's kind of like these other riders. If adding the weight to Alvaro's bike, and then all of a sudden you got a bunch of Ducatis in the top 5 next season or something like that, then it does show that the lighter guy on the bike is gonna do the best job out there. But these other, Martin. I mean, I don't know if the same weight will apply to Martin because Martin is like Alvaro, and I think I said this in the last show. So it's possible why he's also being able to get that extra inch or half inch or quarter inch off of the rest of the people. So weight does matter to a degree, but you could also be too light for a bike, as well as Danny Pedrosa was in the end of his career.
Yeah, I mean, Martin.
Hang on, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you just broke up for a little bit. So go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
I was gonna say Marc Marquez is about the same size as Jorge Martin. There's a couple other racers generally around the same height and weight.
Right.
I know Pecco is one of the taller ones, I would say, and Morbidelli.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the championship standings right now for World Superbike. I mean, Álvaro Bautista finished with 628 points. Toprak was following with 552.
Right.
So that's a huge difference. I mean, if you go to third place with Jonathan Ray with 370, so like that's almost double from what Bautista had. So maybe they needed to change something up. Now, is it just for someone who of his weight caliber? Like, is anyone else in World Superbike the same caliber?
Right, he's not heavy enough, so they're going to add weight to the bike. Someone else will probably have to lose weight if like a Petrucci. When he came into MotoGP, he was heavy as hell, so he had to lose weight. I don't know. I doubt his situation is like that now because he looks pretty lean right now. So I think for the bigger guys, they have to stay slim. And keep that weight off. But if you're a small rider and Aaron Canet, for instance, come out to World Superbike for some reason, he's probably gonna have to add weight as well to the bike. So it's not everyone, and I gotta assume adding weight to your body and weight to the bike is different because at least the weight to the body can be separate. It's just spread throughout your body, right? It's not in one place, and maybe they're doing that with the bike as well. Who knows? But it's going to be tricky because you can't put weight on the wheels. Yeah, it's like where you going to put it? Maybe the bottom of the engine. That's the best place probably. But I'm not a physician. I'm not a physics major, so you know what I'm saying.
You think the setter would be the best because you put it in the front, you have to be burning more brakes
and tire and yeah.
So I don't know.
So versus if you just need to gain 5 pounds, you're gonna gain it everywhere. So
What if he's just takes a lot of energy, muscle things, and just eat a lot. It gains weight. They still have to throw
well,
that in.
I
Like
suspect
a marathon training to lose weight. To
right.
make the
I
deadline. He
Yeah,
could.
to make a weight class. I mean, I
Yeah,
suspect who knows, but maybe that's what they're doing. That's why they weren't worrying about times. This past weekend, and maybe he realized, look, you can have a 7 on a bike, or you can put 4 on you or 3 on you. We could put 4 on the bike,
exactly.
and because that would probably makes more sense to break it up.
Yeah,
If not, or if he can put the whole thing in his body, then the bike is agile and he has muscle memory from the bike. And heavier muscles takes a little bit of getting used to. But that's just going to be reaction time, and just you're going to slow down a little bit for sure. But with your muscles, you're going to speed up as well. So it's really just you getting used to your muscles. And I think it's gonna be. I don't know. Maybe they try it with the bike now, and then he adds some weight, and they take weight off the bike, and they see which one feels better.
well, yeah. Unfortunately, they're gonna have to try the bike first. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
if he can
exactly.
gain
Because it's gonna take
gain
him.
all the way in one day.
But he I don't know. I think the calendar's out, but I think they're probably gonna start racing in March. So
Yeah.
you got some time. Listen,
I,
man. I think I got to lose about 7 kg. I got to lose some weights off my body right now. So I'm
I
looking
mean,
at it the same way.
I guess it's just how you build. It's hard for me to gain weight. I say.
Yeah. Oh well.
I
You're
may lose weight, but I'm still.
you're still at a place where your metabolism is pretty fast, so you don't have to worry about that right now. But trust me, there's some people out there saying, "Look, man, I could look at a bag of chips and I gain a pound."
Yeah. I mean, Thanksgiving is coming up too, so he better get to eating.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So yeah, man, let's get into MotoGP, man, because we're in Malaysia
Yep. A
and
nice fast track.
nice fast track. Yeah, I
It's a
guess.
long track
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It's a
So
long track.
it's interesting because last year when and I think I mentioned this too when Pecco was fighting for the championship, they talked about team orders. But this year, when it's Ducati 1, 2, and 3, Ducati could just say team orders, right, and just give it to
Mhm.
Pecco, right? They can just say, look, man, you're having fun, do all that. You know,
I hate that.
it's like Phil Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Some records are not meant to be broken, and pulled out Kobe when he scored 81, and he could have probably scored another 20 something and broke Kareem's scoring. Right. So I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
it was Kareem. Maybe it was Walter, one of these guys.
Well, it's at 100.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it could be the power is in Ducati's hand, right? They can literally pick who they want as the winner.
Yeah, that is crazy that how the cards played out. You know, over the past 2 years, where now, they can direct who they want as a winner, like you said. Because before, when you had like Ducati that had a whole bunch of points, and the other Ducati rider didn't have
It
a
was
lot of
Fabio
points, and there
last
was
year. It
a
was Fabio last year on
yeah,
Yamaha.
yeah, and you had to block him out. Had to block Fabio as best you can, or different manufacturer, and that take away from the rider who's has nothing to do with it, who wants to
Right.
participate. And like, no, I have a chance to win this, and you trying to have me play the game for the
Right,
top one.
right, and that's the thing,
It's
and I
interesting.
think any rider, any person is probably going. And that's what Pecco said last year. He is like, I don't want team order. Let's just see what happens, right? And as a
Yeah.
rider, that is the mentality, right? But if Ducati's thinking, if Ducati's looking at the long picture, they want Pecco to win.
Well, Jorge Martin ain't.
They
He's
don't.
not
They,
going
they
for that.
don't. They don't want
He's not
Jorge to
going.
win. No,
Oh,
seriously,
come
seriously. No,
on.
no, no, no. Seriously. If Ducati's thinking about, listen, it's a factory bike.
That's not
I mean, they're
fair.
both factory, right? But it's a factory team, right? And if you were to ask any of them dudes, and I don't want to bring race into it, but you got an Italian on Italian manufacturer, they want that guy to win. I'm telling you, and they want that guy to win, and you can kind of see it You can kind of see it because when the camera pans on in the Ducati paddock and you see these guys, they when Martin is out in front, they're not they don't look like they're rooting for him. I hate to say it like that, but they don't look like they're rooting for him like that. When they win, they give him the hug and they give him the high five. But if you go and see when Pecco win, it's a different kind of love, and
Oh,
it is. I
sure.
mean, you can see it. So I mean, I do believe that. And again, if you're in business, you want your factory team to win. You want your factory team to go back to back. Like that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? And again, there's no loser for Ducati in the long run because one or two, unless something happens these last few rounds, Ducati's going to win a championship, right? So,
I mean,
but you know, it's kind of like, do you have a favorite child? Yes, I do. And he likes
can't
red.
always. I don't think that's fair. I just don't think that's fair. I think Martin would be the one that'd be like, screw your orders.
No,
I'll
no.
take
Listen, man. I don't listen. You know, I don't want to say he's the bastard child, but listen.
it. I mean, that's they making it pan out that way if that's the case.
You know what I'm saying? So you're rooting for the underdog, right? You know what I'm saying? You're rooting, you know, if you watch these movies and TV shows and stuff like that, you know, and the king got like 13 bastard kids, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it is what it is. But, you know, they do. I feel like you would. I mean, you would. It's a business. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you want your factory team to win. You think in Formula One, you know, you think McLaren wants, you think Mercedes want McLaren to win? Not McLaren, that's Aston Martin or whoever has the same engine. I think it's Aston Martin. You think they want them to win? No, they want Lewis and Russell to win. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Red Bull and all these teams. No, they want the factory teams to win. They don't want the satellite and the other teams to win, and you got the same engine. You know what I'm saying? Because Ducati's paying mint for these guys. They're not, you know, not to say they're not paying mint for Jorge and Zarco, but your factory team means you're getting bigger money.
I think you know, that is true. I think it's my theory is a little bigger than that. Like I think they're afraid, just slightly. They want Pecco to win for sure, but if Jorge Martin pulls this out, you know, the decision that they didn't choose him last year to be a factory rider, and now if he wins, they have to make a decision. Like,
Yeah,
do
I
we
saw.
put him to back? They don't want that decision right now, so
Yeah,
they want
no,
Pecco to win.
they're not gonna. They can't.
Focus on Martin another time.
Yeah, they can't. They can't.
But
They can't. They will. And Enea Bastianini, it's not his fault. So
no, not at all.
they can't get rid of him. And they already said they'll lose a lot of money if they did. Does Jorge deserve the seat? Yeah, but so does Bezecchi. Bezecchi was close. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I'm not taking anything away from him, but
so out of loyalty, Bastianini has to keep that and contract. I mean, out of contract, not even loyalty, but you'd want to see loyalty, right? Because it was no fault. It was no fault he was taken out. It was no fault. I mean, it was the second time he took everybody out. That was his fault. But the first time was not his fault, and so they got to give him a chance. And they can give him a factory contract, and he's still on Pramac. So you know, it's not like he's missing the money. It's not like he's missing the bike. He just don't have the red color, right? At the end of the day, that's literally what it comes down to at that point. It's like they're paying you the money and they're paying and you're getting the bike. So realistic is that. But you know, so you know, but if it's hard to say if Ducati would regret not giving Jorge the seat. I think Jorge not getting the seat is motivation for him doing what he's doing this year, right?
true.
But Bastianini did have a better year last year and was more consistent last year than he was, especially at the end of the year.
Well, I know Jorge Martin's first year in MotoGP. I think he won. I'm not sure. I think one or two GP Grand Prix. Like he got number one, which is kind of impressive. So I thought his second year would be a lot better, but you know, he had his ups and downs that he's still going through now.
Right. And
But
Bastianini came through and killed it. Killed it.
yeah, he did.
He
He did.
he
But,
he he rides last year, because he didn't really ride this. He's not riding this year, even though he's on a bike. He rode last year like how Zarco's riding this year, right? Strong at the end of races, and so he deserved that seat. And you know, if he didn't get taken out, it could have been Pecco and him this year.
Yeah.
Instead of Martin, or it could have been Martin, him, Bezzecchi. It could have been four of them. I'm not, you know, I don't want to take anyone out of it, but definitely Martin has been right. Martin at the end of this season is riding like how Pecco rode at the end of last season, and you know, I don't know if the mistakes he made already cost them. You know, sometimes when you show your cards too soon, you know, it gives extra motivation to other people. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes you know, I think he tried to dominate some races and crashed out or wore his tire out, and he figured out this last one and did what he needed to do. But now, you know, Pecco has seen this. And I'm, you know, at the moment, you know, unless Jorge Lorenzo, Mark Marquez, a whole bunch of other seasoned riders are sitting here in Jorge's camp. And don't get me wrong, I know that, you know, Aleix and Rins and a bunch of other guys they're tight with, but that VR6 Academy is a monster. They're like Avengers. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're so, you know, when you're surrounded like they're surrounded, I think these last few rounds you're gonna see a different Pecco.
Yeah, like I said, Pecco is gonna have to step it up these last few rounds, especially. I mean, his team is pushing for him. Like, there's only so much they can do.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna have to step it up. He's gonna have to be in Q2 right away.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have to, like, no second row. He's gonna be front row.
And keep this in mind, right? Think about this for a second, right? He's finished second or won races with bad qualifying.
No, I know.
So just keep that in mind. Like, you know.
Oh, yeah, I have.
You know, Martin is doing backflips, but, like, you know, this dude had to
that's Zarco.
No, but you know what I'm saying. But, you know, but, you know, this like, you know, you do realize this dude had to come through the field on you.
Oh, I know. But, you know, like, it's crazy because Martin's the king of poles. You know, he'll start in the front. So you got to worry about him because, you know, he can run away.
Right.
But Pecco also.
The thing is this, though, not to cut you off. He getting pole and going a distance are two separate things.
Two separate things.
And
sure.
I think Pecco don't care what you do in getting the pole. But I know Pecco cares he should be in the first row for sure.
Well, I don't think Martin can afford to be where Pecco.
No. I mean,
and vice versa.
Well, I think that Pecco has a little bit more experience because he shows that he can come from the back and manage the tires. I don't know if Martin can come from the back and manage the tires to the end of the race. Can he come from the back? Not the back, middle, whatever. 4 rows down, 5 rows down. He can come through, but can he manage the tires? That's the difference.
Do you think that race at Catalunya? Do you think that race at Catalunya where Pecco led the race and basically lost control and they have no idea what happened to the bike? You think that affects him a little bit to try to lead a race at this moment? I think slightly.
Oh, but, I gotta say, every experience.
Since that happened, he's been fighting from the back.
Yeah. No, there's something. Maybe there's something about the bike he doesn't trust because they've yet to tell us what happened. And so
and he hasn't led a race since then, and I don't know.
And he had him. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there could be some truth to that. Maybe. Look, man, listen. When I crashed in 2017, man, it took me a little bit to get comfortable going through turn 3 at Loudon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I got ran over by another rider. And so. Yeah, we're human beings. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sitting here saying I'm a MotoGP rider by any stretch of the imagination, but we're human beings. It doesn't matter if you're a MotoGP rider or you're one of us doing the backyard boogie. It is incidents are gonna shake us, and we're gonna have to get over them. And confidence are gonna get shook, and that's the thing. It's like it's the adversity, right? It's how we handle that, right? At the end of the day, because you're not gonna have a season without adversity. It's really just how you handle it.
Exactly. Yeah, he's just also just not trying to throw it away, because if he is in first and throws it away again like he has before,
Right.
not this year,
Yeah.
but that's 25 points gone. He can't he can make it up being in 15th trying to get scrounge for points.
Right.
Being in the lead. Yeah. But I think that fall had a little bit to do with why he's not in the front.
For sure.
Because I know, like you said at Loudon, I crashed in 2 corners there, and now I have 2 corners where I'm a little iffy.
Yeah.
No, just the game. It takes a while to gain that back. So.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So either way, MotoGP is exciting to watch. I'm rooting for Ducati. One, I'm rooting for Pecco. But I also like. I can't deny what Martin is doing. He's riding like Jorge Lorenzo. He's riding like Danny Pedrosa. I might could even say Casey Stoner in the mix, right? Because these guys, when they get out front, they just ghost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he has the momentum right now. Like if you sporting events where someone has the momentum, they take the soul out of you, basically. Yeah. Like he's stealing the momentum right now. And Pecco got a break last race with the Bender incident. Got 4 more points back.
Listen, Pecco gonna have to give that BMW to Bender if he wins the title this year by 5 points or 3 points. he gonna have to give something, because but that's experience, right? And Brad should Brad should know. You know what I'm saying? Especially after the first 2 times. He should know. And that's the part. I mean, I think that last race, based on where he was, I don't think there was another option for him. I don't think there was another place for his bike, just based on how the situation unfolded. So, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he wanted that first.
Yeah. So I don't think he's not like, oh, I could have pulled my bike over some more to the left or something like that, because that's all, you know what I'm saying? That so it's unfortunate, but
we're talking like 2 inches anyway. 1 or 2 inches,
if that. And so if Pecco had access to the private jet, hopefully Brad flew back with him. You know what I'm saying? Because he definitely that 5 points made it different. And the crazy part about this, right? For Martin, right? Now think about this, and I'll go back to like Top Rock for a second. When you ride your ass off, and you only get 5 more points than the person behind you, and seriously, because Martin did, right? He rode his ass off. You know what I'm saying? And so on one hand you're like, yeah. On the other hand, you're like, he's right behind me.
Like, how?
You know what I'm saying? So that also has to be a little bit of blow, because because you're giving it that much more, and it's just like, yo, this dude. And again, if I'm recognizing it, it's like this dude started way back, and he finished second, and you now, so you have to sit here and go, okay, and what happens if I'm 1 and he's 2? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens then? And Pecco has the experience, and Martin has to. That's the thing he's gonna have to swallow. Because if this weekend, if they're 1 and 2, the pressure's more on Martin than it is for Pecco.
I think the pressure is still on Martin anyway.
Yeah.
He's up and down trying to chase.
Yeah.
He was even. He was like plus a couple points, and he went down, and then with the sprint, and then now with the Grand Prix with Bender, he would have been 9 points or something like that, or 8 points. Yep. Now it's like 13 or 14. I'm not sure.
18, I think it's 18.
18, something like that. Yeah, but
that I'm keeping track.
I'm keeping track, but I lost track with I just love it. Now we got the sprint and the Grand Prix, right. So it's a
and then also not having that sprint as well, right? Because if they don't make that other sprint race up, That's
Yeah, I don't.
also
They're not
like,
making that.
and look, I'm a,
How do you store
I
that?
I've had many Ducatis in my life, and I hope to have more. I'm a fan of Ducati, but you know, it's suspect that they're not making that race up.
I can see if it was the Grand Prix, which had more points
Dude, it's still
to
12.
it.
Listen, when it's that close, 12 points matter.
Oh, I know.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm
it's
like,
it's coming down to
yeah,
that.
it's like it's not something to like sneeze like, okay, it doesn't matter because yo, that's 12 points. Because
Yeah.
if that race did happen, the race could be closer, and yeah, and it could be further too, but it still matters,
Oh, it does.
So
We're
no,
talking. Pecco has 389 and Martin has 376.
yeah.
So I think um, Zarco won that, right? Zarco won
Zarco
that.
won Phillips Island, I believe.
Yeah,
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 that's the
yeah,
one they didn't do the sprint.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
um, I forgot where Jorge Martin finished that race, but
Fifth. Not that I'm keeping
okay.
track.
There we go. Well, I mean, like, yeah, like
And he
that
was that's
nine
because that's
points.
the one that he was leading in the tire, right? Yeah. So
Oh, right.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So, yeah, I felt like he would have figured it out and probably would have won the sprint at least because in that full distance race, that
Right.
last lap screwed him.
Yeah. I mean, weather matters, but yeah, no doubt.
So that's an extra 9 points he could possibly have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just don't know. So it is. I mean, I will say, so far, I do appreciate the sprint race, and I do appreciate the excitement. I do appreciate the competitiveness of MotoGP, because when Marquez was winning 1, 2, 3 in a row, or I think he skipped one. It was just kind of like, oh, Marquez is going to win again. And then you had the pandemic happen, and then you had Mears come and win one, and then you had Fabio come and win one, and then Pecco come and win one. So and it's been getting exciting. And this one, and even the amount of races too. Like I know as the rider, they're complaining about not I wouldn't say complaining, but they're doing more races than they've done before, and it's a lot more toll, obviously because of that. But watching more races, I love it. From a fan perspective, it's just like we literally get like maybe a month and a half, 2 months off before racing starts again. And if you're a fan, that's awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're loving it.
Yeah, I'm excited that this goes to like end of November. Where like you said, we got December, January, February, but along those times there'll be testing, and then March is World Superbike, and
And
March is
MotoGP.
also yeah, MotoGP does start in March, and also as the if we want to bring it on our side, it's the Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona
200.
200, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, that starts in March too. So when that comes back, I'll be so excited. Like, yeah, I just love bikes.
No doubt. So we're gonna wrap this thing up, man, because I know we can go on and talk motorcycles all day long. Do you have any prediction in Malaysia?
I don't have a prediction of who, but I say a Ducati. I'm gonna say probably. I want to see Bezzecchi up there, or
I feel
Jorge
bad for
Martin.
Bezzecchi because go ahead.
And if we want to switch up Ducati, I want to see Brad Binder pull one out. I mean, he's been trying so hard.
Right.
I think he still has the momentum, but this is a fast track. I mean, the KTM's are up there with speed now with Ducati.
Yeah.
So we don't have Suzuki out there anymore to get blown down the straightaway. But yeah, I'd say Bezzecchi or Brad Binder.
Yeah, I will say before I'm leaning the same way. I think Ducati and KTM, but I do want to Aprilia. The up and down is it's
Figuring
strange.
it out.
It's strange. The up and down of Aprilia is very strange. I mean, they lack consistency.
Mechanical chain braking.
Yeah, it's just a lot, and I mean the only person you can't really pick at is Raul Fernandez, right? That's the only person. But you look at Oliveira, who's won races, Vinales, who's won races, not on the Aprilia, but won races, and Aleix, who's won races. It's so weird that they just, they're just the inconsistency is I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's just kind of like, yo, man, y'all y'all should be in the top 8 consistently.
What about KTM? I mean,
No,
Brad
KTM
Binder's a
is more
consistent
consistent.
one.
Yeah, they're more consistent. They they
But
they they're literally they're not as consistent as Ducati because they don't have enough KTM's on the grid. But they're more consistent. They're like, so it's really like Ducati, KTM, Aprilia.
Yamaha, Honda.
They might be even they might even be hyphenated because if you look at the podium between Fabio and Marc Marquez, right? Because they're only 2 that have podiums. You know what I'm saying? They might cancel each other out. And so you know what I'm saying? They're kind of like at the same place.
I think Honda's having the worst year of all
No.
of them.
Yamaha is having a worse year than Honda. They only got 2 bikes, and they only got 2 bikes.
They can't produce really anything.
Right, because Marc Marquez is actually. I don't even know what the standing is, but I think I gotta assume Marc Marquez is higher in the standings than Fabio is right now. And if he is, then Yamaha then Honda is the better bike.
No, the standings, we got Fabio with 145 points. Marc Marquez has 81.
Okay, so all right, Yamaha then. I mean, the points
speaks. He has the most falls this year.
Oh yeah.
And,
listen,
and I think every Honda rider fell a lot. Taka, Mir barely finished this whole season.
Marquez is sliding into Rossi's DM like, bro.
Yep. Ducati.
You know what I'm saying? How can I get, can I get to the academy and ride with you guys? Because pretty much all the, except for Celestine, Celestine can probably be on a Ducati too, but he's probably going to be on a Triumph or something, right? Outside of Celestine and Minos, everybody else is going to be on Ducati. So Marquez is going to be like, yo, can me and my brother come over and hang out with you guys in Mazzano?
Yep. He's still going to feel like an outsider?
No, look, I don't think so, right? Because I think like Lorenzo, he got humbled when he went to Ducati, and I think after Marquez got hurt this last time and was sidelined for so long, I think he's evolved from the Marquez who was never hurt. It's essentially young and cocky, right? I mean, that's what it is, right? Yeah, that's what it is, right? But when you have adversity like that, it makes you human again. John McGuinness. All these top players when they have to deal with adversity, any person really, right? When you have to deal with adversity, it makes, if you were an asshole before, you become a human being, and if you were a human before, you become even more empathetic, right? Yeah. So. I've seen that. So like I look at them now and it's just like, yeah, I know what you did. But you're learning, so it is. We as human beings, we all learn and evolve. So you can't hold, you can't be mad at the younger version of people after they've evolved. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Yeah. I know one thing before we go. I'm just looking at the standings since we brought it up. Since we have a few races left, I love to see everyone at least score a point. So right now, MotoGP has 0.
Well, he's in World Superbike, so unless somebody gets hurt in Honda, he's done.
Yeah, and then we'll see. You never know. And then Cal Crutchlow, he has 3. These guys are.
Oh, he got 3. He only did 1 race, so there you go.
Yeah, that's good. Let's see who's still in it that needs points. Like Pohl has 12, Mir has 24.
There you go. Listen, Pohl got jacked up, man. He broke his jaw. That's. And and other things. Not, you know what I'm saying? So
I just instead of getting like 1 point here and there, I just like to see it mix up. But
look, man, it's
tough out there.
It's exactly. there could only be one number one. You know what I'm saying? So there can only be one number two and so forth. It's when you're a second, and it's not like it's crazy because you think of like I don't know how many riders are in there now, but when you look at the qualifying times and these guys are like 1 to 1.5 second apart, and you're like the 25th guy or the 22nd guy, and it's like you still gotta hold your head up. You know what I'm saying? Because like you're not that bad.
Yeah, to your riding crew, but to your spectators, they're like he sucks.
No, but you
No, not he sucks.
But right. But they probably are doing that, and which is the downside because the competition is so elite right now that
crazy,
you again when I say Marquez being humble now and stuff like that, we're all human beings. You gotta look, you have to realize like it's only a second and a half here we're talking about here. Like I mean,
that's a blinking of an eye.
Yeah, you gotta tone it down if you're a fan and you're mad at Fabio or Frankie or one of these guys because you're talking about 24, 25 guys in this case, and they're all fast. And I think at this point it's really probably machinery and your organization. You know what I'm saying? Because I think all these riders are top riders. I mean, I think if you put all these riders, you look at Moto2, and we said this before, but outside of the the frame situation with them, those guys are the same way. And so it really like these riders are all very talented, and the difference is really the how they interact with their crew and what their crew do at the end of the day, because all these riders feel they can break lap records. I think you really ask every rider, they'll all believe they can break the lap record if they had the right bike.
Yes, for sure. It's all about their strategy coming into a race weekend.
Yeah.
And just feeling good about themselves.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'm hoping Bezecchi win Malaysia.
That'll be good to see.
I'm hoping that. I'm hoping Vinales is up there. I'm rooting for. Obviously, yes, I want Pecco to win it all. But these other riders like y'all, y'all like we're rooting for y'all. So and obviously they're rooting for themselves. But it's like that's what I like to see. I like to see Vinales get one. Before the season's up.
Time's running out, so I'd like to see Alex Rins also win another or get on the podium again.
Oh, didn't he just win Austin this year on a Honda?
Well, yeah, we just haven't seen him that often.
Listen, man, you break your leg in 2 places, you might not see me for like 5 years.
All right, I'm picking all the wrong names. I just wanted to see.
You know what I'm saying? But like, look, I don't know if Marquez has won this year. Alex Rins has won this year on a Honda. And granted,
Marquez on the podium.
He was on the podium, but I don't think he won.
No.
So you know what I'm saying, and I'm a fan of Alex Rins, and I think he's gonna do.
I mean, he's out there. He broke his leg in 2 places. They put him back out there.
If we were to look at Moto2, right, and you were to sit here and go Frankie Morbidelli, Fabio Quartararo, Alex Rins, Bastianini, Jorge Martin, don't want to pick one more in there, Bezecchi. Like, who's the better rider in Moto2? Like Rins? Rins is like probably Rins. It look like Joan Mir. Like, who was it? Like Frankie Morbidelli and Alex Rins, right? Like in Moto2. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yes. MotoGP is a different animal and a whole bunch of different things. So do I think that Alex Rins has the talent? Yes, I do, because he's been fast from Moto3, Moto2, and MotoGP.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, just the injuries, and like I said, I knew it coming in with how many races they had to put up. I wanted to see how many races can withstand the full length of the season.
Yeah. No, that's the thing, man. It's adversity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like you're not gonna win a title in a weekend, and it's how you adjust, adapt, evolve, and grow. I mean, it's crazy. and usually the factory people are the ones that have it under control in a situation like this. If Jorge Martin wins the title, this might be the first satellite team that's won a title in MotoGP.
That'd be dope.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's huge.
It's very close.
I mean, granted, he's on a factory factory contract, but still a satellite team.
Yeah, that is his second place. So, like I said, I'm rooting for Bezzecchi as well and Bender, but I'm sure Martin and Pecco will be up there too. So.
Yes, the show must go on. My name is. Let's shout out all the sponsors before we get out of here. Let's shout out Motul, Agio, GoPro, Engine Ice for me, Smoking Rhymes, Hamden Yard Clothing. Who you want to shout out?
Woodcraft Technologies, Hideaway Rentals, Vortex, and J&G Performance.
No doubt. We'll be back next week with more of this stuff. My name is Rex45.
And my name is TJ with 2 L's and Coffee.
Peace.
Peace out.